Hello guys, welcome back in the series of attendance management system using ASP.NET. In previous video, we have seen how to assign a subject to a particular teacher. So in today's video, we are going to see how to add a student into a database in admin panel. So first of all, we have to create a new web form with master page. Give the page name as student. Select the master page. Here I have taken 5 text box, 3 drop-down list, 1 button, 1 label, 1 validation summary, and here required field and regular expression validator. Like this way, I have taken for all the controls and 1 grid view. So let's see what is there in the code for the design. For the design page, first of all, I have taken one center tag. Within center tag, I have taken one div tag with background image. In that, I have given the background image. I provided the URL of the image and the width is equals to 200 pixel. Within div tag, I have taken one table tag with property like align with center, height 340 pixel, width 392 pixel. Within table tag, I have taken 13 table row. So let's see one by one. In first table row, I have taken one table data with property calls to align equals center. And within that, I have taken H2. I have taken H2 at a tag with the text add student and one break tag after add a tag. In second table row, I have taken 2 table data. In first table data, I have taken one bold tag with the text first name and 3 character space. In second table data, I have taken one text box and one required field validator control and one regular expression validator control. In text box control, I have given the property with 197 pixel, height 41 pixel, placeholder student first name, and in required and in required field validator control, I have given the property control to validate is equals to text box 1. The ID of this text box and error message is equals to first name is empty, for color is equals to red, and the text has asterisk. In regular expression validator control, I have given the control to validate is equals to text box 1. Error message name should be in characters, for color is equals to red, validation expression is equals to this. Here it will check that when the user enters any value in the text box, that should match with this. What it says, it should be the data entered in text box should be in capital letters from A to Z and in small letter from A to Z. It will take all this alphabet including capitals as well as small. Okay. In third table row, I have taken 2 table data. Within first table tag, I have taken one bold tag with the text last name and 3 character space. In second table data, I have taken one text box, one required field validator control, and one regular expression validator control. In text box control, I have given the property like width is equals to 197 pixel, height is equals to 41 pixel, placeholder is equals to student's last name. In required field validator control, I have given the control to validate text box 5, that is the ID of this text box. Error message is equals to last message is empty, 4 color is red, and the text as asterisk. In regular expression validator, have given property control to validate is equals to text box 5, the ID of this text box. Error message is equals to name should be in characters, 4 colors equals to red, validation expression same as above one, and the text as asterisk. In 4 table row, I have taken 2 table data. Within first table data, I have taken one bold tag with text roll number and 3 character space. And in second table data, I have taken one text box, one required field validator control, one regular expression validator control. In text box, I have given the width 197 pixel, height 41 pixel, text mode, number, placeholder, student, roll number. In required field validator, I have given the control to validate is equals to text box 4. The ID of this text box. The ID of this text box. Error message roll number is empty, 4 color is equals to red, and the text as asterisk. In regular expression validator, I have given the control to validate is equals to text box 4. The ID of this text box. Error message is invalid phone number, 4 color red, validation expression. In this expression, it will check the entered phone number should match with the condition, and what the condition is, it should be the entered data should be from 0 to 9 numbers. First of all, it should be number, because we have given here text board number. The text box should take only numbers, not any alphabet or special characters or special symbols. Okay, so it will take from 0 to 9 numbers, and it will take total 7 digit number. If you want, you can change according to your, suppose if you want to give 10 digit phone number, then you can provide the 10 here. Okay, in fifth table row, I have taken 2 table data. In first table data, I have taken one bold tag with the text email and 3 character space. In second table data, I have taken one text box, one required field validator control. In text box, I have given the property width is equals to 197 pixel, height 41 pixel, text mode email, placeholder student email ID. In required field validator, I have given the control to validate is equals to text box 2, that is the ID of this text box. Error message email is empty, 4 color red, and text as asterisk. In 6 table row, I have taken 2 table data. In first table data, I have taken one bold tag with the text contact number and 3 character space. In second table data, I have taken one text box, one required field validator, one regular expression validator control. In text box, I have given the property width is equals to 197 pixel, height 41 pixel, text mode number, placeholder student phone number. Sorry, I have said that here it is taking phone number. It's not phone number, it's the roll number of the students. If you want, you can change according to your the roll number digit. How many digit you want in for entering the student roll number. And here is the phone number which we want to enter by the user here. Okay, so the placeholder is student phone number, and required field validator control. Given the property control to validate is equals to text box 3. The ID of this text box. Error message contact number is empty, 4 color red, and the text as asterisk. Regular expression validator. In that, I have given the control to validate is equals to text box 3. The ID of this text box. Error message invalid phone number, 4 color is equals to red, validation summary is equals to. In that, I have provided a condition that it should be numbers, that is from 0 to 9, and it will take only 10 digits, and text as asterisk. After that, I have taken 2 table data inside this table row, and within the first table data, I have taken one bold tag with the text course, entry character space. In second table data, I have taken one drop-down list and one required field validator control. In drop-down list, I have given the property auto post back equals to true, height 40 pixel, width 197 pixel. Control to validate is equals to drop-down list tool. The idea of this drop-down list, if you notice that the ID which is given here is not in order, right? Here textbox 4, then textbox 2, then textbox 3. It doesn't matter with the ID. You have to provide the ID of that control inside the required field validator with the property control to validate. You have to provide the same ID in that, and same for the required expression validator in that control to validate property. Same ID we have to pass. The ID of the control which we are going to use in another control should be the same. Then it will going to work. Otherwise, no. Okay. So ID doesn't matter. So here within the drop down, I have given the auto prospect true, height 40 pixel, width 197 pixel. In required field validator control, I have given the control to validate drop down list to error message select course. And in four colors was to red, Texas asterisk. After that, I have taken two table data within table row. In first table data, I have taken one bold tag with the text as year and 3 character space. Uh, in second table data, I have taken one drop-down list and one required field validator control. In drop-down list, I have given the property postback auto postback is equal to true, height 40 pixel with 197 pixel, and I have added 4 list item with the value 0, 1, 2, 3, and the text as select year, first year, second year, and third year. In required field validator, I have given the property control to validate is equals to drop-down list 3, the ID of this drop-down list, and error message is equals to select your for color is equals to red and the text as asterisk. After that, I have taken another two table data within this table row. In first table data, I have taken one bold tag with the text as semester and 3 character space. In second table data, I have taken one drop-down list control and one required field validator control. In drop-down list, I have given the property auto post back equals to height 40 pixel with 197 pixel, and within that I have added one list item with a value 0, text as select semester. After that, in required field validator, I have given the property control to validate is equals to drop-down list 1, the ID of this drop-down list, error message is equals to select semester, 4 color is equals to red, and text as asterisk. After that, in fourth last table row, I have taken one table data with property corresponds to true, height align is equal to center. Within that table data, I have taken one button control with the text as add font bold true, height 47 pixel with 86 pixel, font size medium. In third last table row, I have taken one table data with the corresponds to true. Within that, I have taken one label tag with the font bold was true. In second last table row, I have taken one table data with corresponds to true. Inside that, I have taken one validation summary control with the 4 colors equals to red. In last table row, I have taken one table data with the corresponds to true, align equals center, and inside that I have taken one grid view control. And after end of the table tag, I have taken some break tag. So that's it about our design page. Now double click on this drop down list for selecting year and double click on the this add button. Now import the namespaces. So let's see what I have taken inside this student.asp.cs page. First of all, I have given the connection string and store it in variable string str. It takes the connection string from configuration manager class with the property connection string and with the name connection. After that, the page load event, it will going to first of all check that if it is not postback, where the page load for the very first time, not even the any request has been posted to the server. At that time, it will going to call this function drop down course source student function. So let's see what is inside the drop down course function. I have given one SQL connection and open the connection, and I have given the SQL command, and the command is select star from course, and the command is select star from course. It will give all the records of the course table, and to execute this query, execute the function we have to call, and after the result of this query, it will going to act as a data source for the drop-down list 2. After that, after in the drop-down list 2 dot data text field is equals to course name, that is the course column inside the course table. After that, drop-down list 2 dot data value field is equals to CID, that is the column name CID present in course table. Now we have to bind that with the drop-down list 2 with the function data bind and close the connection. Now the executed command going to return some value, and it will going to act as a data source for the drop-down list 2. That means it will going to display in the drop-down list, but at 0 index we are going to display this text message, that is select course. Starting at 0 index, it will going to display this message, and after that all the records coming from the course table going to display in drop-down list 2. Now let's run and see. Add student. After selecting the courses, we are going to select the year. But after selecting the year, this drop-down list value uh, gets filled. Okay. Based on this drop-down list control, this drop-down list control going to display the data. For that, we have to write the code. After selecting the year, the semester will going to display. Based on the year, semester will going to change. I am selecting the first year, then it will going to display first and second year. If I am selecting the second year, then it will going to change with sem 3 and sem 4. If I am selecting the third year, then it will going to change with sem 4 and sem 5 and sem 6. So for that, we have to write a code in the event selected index change for the drop down list string, that is for year drop down list control. Okay, so first of all we have to check that that the selected value of drop down list 3, that is drop down list for the year. You can see here drop down list 3, which is for the year. So it will check that the selected value, the value present inside this drop down can see that in this item having some values, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. If we select the select here, it will going to get the value 0. If we are going to select the first here, it will go to 1, like this way. So it will going to get the value, and it is going to convert it into integer and check that if it is greater than 0. Why? Because at 0 index, select here, which is of no use. Okay, so that's why we are leaving it and considering after considering from 1 to 3. So that's why we have provided your condition, it should be greater than 0. If it is, then I have taken one data table with the object and state dt, and inside that data table I have added two columns, that is sem id, semester id column, which is type of integer, and second column is sem name, that is semester name. Here it will check that if the selected value for the drop down list 3 is equals to 1. If it is 1, then it will going to add 3 rows with the sem id 0 and sem name, select semester. Here we have taken two columns, right? We have added two columns, and now we are inserting data inside those two columns. So in the first column, that is sem id, we are adding id, and in the column sem name we are adding semester name. So we have added 3 rows, that means 3 data. So we have added select semester with id 1, sem 1 with id 2, with id 1, sem 2 with id 2. And if the selected value is equals to 2, then it will going to add three rows, that is semester name as select semester with 0. Then it will going to add sem 3 with the id sem with id 3, sem 4 with the id 4. Okay, if it is the selected value is equals to 3, then it will going to add another 3 rows, that is f0 id, it will going to add select semester, and at fifth sem id it will going to add sem fifth, and sixth sem id it will going to add sem 6. Now we have added two columns inside data table and some rows inside data table. Now we are going to add that data table as a data source to the drop down list one, and giving the data text field for the drop down list 1 is equals to sem name. The column semester name we have given here, we have added here this column sem name. So we are providing that columns as a data text field, and for the data value field we are giving sem id. It is the first column that we have added data table. After that we have to bind that data, so that data bind function is used with the drop down list 1. Now if the selected value of drop down list 3 is equals to 0, if it is 0, then it will going to display a message inside the label 1 text, that is label 1 control, that is please select proper semester field. Now here, after filling all the controls, when the user or admin going to click on this button, what function it should perform. So let's see. In the button, click event. First of all, it will going to check that the selected drop down that the admin or user has selected all the drop down list or not. Why only drop down list, and what about this text box? For the text box we have already given the valuations, but for this drop down we have to check inside this code that if the drop down list 2, that is course, if it is not selected, that means select course the value of this drop down, then it will going to display the message, please select all fields. Not only this for this course, but also mm, for the year and semester also. After that, if all the drop-down list control have been selected by the admin, then it will going to check in here. Then it will going to execute this else if part, that if anyone if any one drop down list is not selected by the admin or user, then it will going to display this message, please select all the fields. Here it will go to check all the three drop down lists. If any one drop down list is been selected by the admin, then it will exclude this code. Then it will going to skip this code and it will going to execute this part. And here it will going to check if any one drop down list, it will going to display this message. Suppose if this two drop down list has been selected and this drop down list is not selected by the admin or user, then it will going to display this message. If it is this drop down list been selected and this also, and this one is left, then it will going to display this message. Or else this board drop down has been selected and this is not, and this drop down list is not selected, then it will going to display this message, because we have provided here or condition and here we have provided the AND condition. So if both the condition is false, then it will going to execute the else condition. Here in else condition, first of all we have to provide the connections, and in SQL data adapter class we have provided SQL command, that is select star from student where email ID is, which is coming from textbox 2. Based on this email ID, based on this entered email ID by the admin, it will going to fetch from the table subject and going to store in a table with the help of fill method of SQL data adapter class. After that, if this query execute and returns any data inside the data table, first of all we have to check that if any data present in data table or not. If the rows count is equals to 1, that means the data present in data table. So if the data is present, then we have to display this message in the label 1 console. Enter email IDs. Entered email ID is already existing or present in our database, and the color is red. Or else, if the entered email ID is not present in our table, then it will going to execute this else part. Now here it will go to save or insert those records entered by the admin or user in student table. So first of all we have to take the value which is coming from the text box, that is first name, last name, and we have to concatenate that first name and last name as a full name. So we are adding the concatenating this first name and last name and storing it in the variable string full name. Now we have got the full name. Now we have to take a connection, SQL connection, and SQL command class. Inside that I have provided the insert query, insert command, that is insert into student table with the column SN, that is student name, roll number, email, phone number, course, year, semester, and the value for that column we have provided with the your parameters. So for the one call that is for column S name, it is now going to get the value full name. For the column roll number, it is going to get from text box 4. For the column email, we are going to get it from text box 2. For phone number, we are going to get it from text box 3. For the course, it is getting from drop down list 2. For the year, it will be getting from drop down list 3. For the semester, it will be getting from drop down list 1. So after that, for executing this query, we have to call this function execute non-query and close the connection. Now after inserting data to the table, all the fields we have to make it clear, right? So for that we have given all the text box with the empty data. After that, For the drop down list also I have given here select course, and after you should display the message that the data has been entered in our table. For that, going to display in level 1 control, and the color is green color, and the newly added record should reflect in our grid view. The grid view we have taken, it should be reflecting the newly added record. For that we have called the function show student, which will going to show the data in grid view. So let's see what's inside this so student function. First of all, I've taken the SQL connection. After that, SQL data adapter class I've taken. Inside that, I've given the command that is select as name, that is student name as name, then course, year, semester as same as semester, phone, email from table student. It will going to display all these columns from the table student. After that, it will going to go open the connection and going to store the record which is coming from the SQL data class inside the data table with the help of fill method of SQL data adapter class. After that, it will going to bind as a data source of GridView1, and for that we have to call the data bind function. So let's see, by adding one student, my name is already present here. So in this roll number text box, if you're trying to enter alphabet, it will not going to take. I am pressing the alphabets keys, it's not entering here. It will take only numbers only. Enter the email ID. Here it shows the validation that the required condition is not met for this control. If you remember, we have given the 7 digit for this row number, but we have added only 6. If we add 7 and going to move forward, the error message has gone for this. Okay, now we have added 4 numbers. Okay, now select the course. I'm selecting this BSCCS. Select the year. I'm selecting the first year. Based on this year selection, the semester data going to be visible. Now, after that, if we click on add, here it checks that here it says that the entire email ID is already existing. If this email ID is already present in database in our table, so that's why it's not taking. So let's change the email ID, and now click on add. So our record has been added successfully, and you can see here the can check this record in data table. If you want to edit this data, you can add controls, edit and delete in this grid view, and the code and functionality for that you can find inside this course. We have given that edit and delete functionality. If you want, you can get it from there. So we have completed with the course, subject, adding teachers and assigning subject to those teacher. Now in next video, and here and student also we have completed. So in next video, so we have completed with the admin panel. So in next video we are going to continue with the teacher panel, and after that we are going to see with the student panel or student module. Okay, so let's see if it is working the logout functionality or not. Yeah, it's working. So we have completed with the admin part. Okay, I hope you have liked this video. Thank you for watching.